Florida just made anti-America. Delta Airlines regret everything after massive move they made. Delta Airlines is falling faster than a sack of bricks dropped from a Boeing 757. The popular airline just got smacked with another round of karma after what they did to punish the members of the National Rifle Association, NRA. Delta previously had a relationship with the NRA that provided small discounts for members of the NRA. Delta later removed the partnership and took away the discounts because of the school shooting in Parkland, Florida. The shooting had nothing to do with the NRA, its members, or Delta Airlines. However, Delta decided to cut ties with the civil rights group, and that sparked a much more prominent controversy than expected. Delta Airlines later suffered a devastating multi-million-dollar loss when the state of Georgia passed a bill that ended Delta's tax breaks that made it to the jet fuel costs a little bit less. Georgia's move was a punishment to Delta in revenge of Delta punishing the NRA members who were just minding their own business when a random young male shot up a high school in Florida. The state of Florida is joining the bandwagon of punishment, and they're about to cut the cord on Delta Airlines tax breaks too. This will cost Delta probably hundreds of millions, as they'll now be required to make up the differences when they lose the tax breaks. This will likely cause Delta to push the cost over to the consumer, punishing more people for the actions of their own fault. This will likely cause consumers to fly on other airlines, cutting their business with Delta, and Delta being placed in a dire situation where they need to sell plane tickets to remain in business, or they need to close. If the American boycott and shift to other airlines are strong enough, then Delta will be in a very devastating position. Only 13 people had ever used the Delta NRA discount. All of this loss comes as a publicity stunt, and the fact that barely anyone knew, or used, the NRA discount with Delta. The Western Journal provided more information on Delta's tax break being removed. Florida lawmakers are following Georgia's lead in punishing Delta Airlines for cutting ties with the National Rifle Association. At the end of last month, Georgia passed a bill that ended tax reductions on jet fuel that would benefit the airliner, and now Florida is planning to do the same, Independent Journal Review reported. The state's lawmakers will also rebid a state rental car contract held by Enterprise, who also cut ties with the NRA. We would do this to any company that wants to engage against political speech, whether it's against the NRA or Planned Parenthood, Representative Blaise Ingoglia said to Politico. He added, anyone can engage in political speech, but we have a duty to watch and make sure government money doesn't underwrite it. NRA lobbyist Marion Hammer supported the lawmakers' actions, though she was not involved in the negotiations. Taxpayer dollars shouldn't be used to benefit businesses who discriminate against a segment of the taxpayers, she said. The fuel tax was discussed on Florida's House floor last Friday, led by House Speaker Richard Corcoran. The amendment to the chamber's $400 million tax package takes away a proposal to lower the tax airlines pay for gas from 4.2 to 2.8 cents per gallon. The provision is worth roughly $20 million annually, according to Politico. The provision against Enterprise was put in the House budget document plan and would give the Department of Management Services $20,000 to competitively procure rental vehicle services. Ed Bastian, CEO of Delta Airlines, previously stated that they ended the discount in hopes to remain neutral regarding gun control debates, but he sees how that backfired. Most people didn't know that Delta had a discount for NRA members. It does not seem to have been advertised as an option, and, as mentioned earlier, only 13 people had ever used it. Some Democrats in Florida expressed their distaste for the Floridian lawmakers to punish Delta Airlines by removing their tax breaks. The Democrats had no problem calling the lawmakers names or phrases for punishing Delta, but failed to see their own hypocrisy when Delta punished their customers. One such person was attorney Sean Shaw, who posted a tweet but failed to see how he was lambasting one side for something they had done, while the other side had basically done the same thing. Delta punished people and was then punished by others. It's mostly the same thing. The fascinating aspect is that neither Delta Airlines, the NRA, nor the customers had anything to do with the Florida high school shooting, but there they are, all fighting about something that no one was involved in. Perhaps they should get back to business and realize they are all not each other's problems.